Okay, let's do this one more time and try and stay inside the margins. Alright, so this is not a spring-assist knife. It's smoothly made enough so you can pop it open, and if you give it a bit of a flick, it sounds like it's got a spring in it, but it doesn't. However, that's not really a barrier to us for that quick release. Now, I don't like pulling back on the kicker like that. On most knives, what I would much prefer to do is something that leans you with a solid grip. So I'm going to hold it in reverse, like that, and just toss it forward. And this is a trick that I haven't seen anybody else do, really, that I know of. So I haven't seen an official name for it, but I'm calling it a BackFlick. I love this especially for left-handed use, because it's going to be sitting in your pocket with a clip facing outwards if it's in your left hand, and you're going to reach in from the top with your thumb right there, and so when you pull it out, it's going to be in a reverse grip right there, which doesn't seem like it would be that useful until you learn how to just pop it open like that. Okay, so we're going to walk you through the steps of this. Now, it's worth noting that it's super easy to do it on this knife, and not all knives are quite so good at it. This is a Paraframe 1. You can still do it, it just takes a little bit more practice. So find a knife that's got a little bit smoother of a release here. The distance between here and here is going to be your biggest hurdle. Okay, now there's a couple of different techniques to this. You could go forward and stop, although that's hit or miss. You can go forward and whip down, but I find that the best results for the most consistent results, at least, it should be able to do it with just moving down diagonally like this and a forward flick, like that. And once you practice the motions a couple of times, you'll be able to just pull it out and pop it out. It's really, really satisfying feeling. Okay, so things to be aware of. You want your fingers to be completely clear of the blade, because that's not going to go anywhere. And you naturally want to tighten your grip on it so that it doesn't go flying off into space there. So make extra sure that you're not that your fingers are not in contact with the blade whatsoever. Okay, it's easier on a larger knife like this. Like this is about 3.5, 4 inches, something like that. I'm not really sure. The description will tell you. Where there's a little bit of blade sticking up past the fingers there. Although, as I demonstrated over here, it's not really particularly necessary. You can still do it. Okay. After you learn how to do it initially, where you can just pull it out and pop it down, the next step after that would be to experiment on other knives like that. So, and it really is very specific to which kind of knife that you've got. Like this one is much easier than this one. And if you're wondering why I have two of the same knife, it's because this is a Gerber and this is a knockoff. Right there. This is like $10. There's a definite difference in weight. This is a lot heavier and it's a lot sturdier, and there's a visible kicker. But you can just pop that open real simple, where the same motion here isn't going to open this. You have to really, really hammer this one until you get the motion down. Although this is a forward-facing clip knife, so it's more convenient for me to have it open in the forward grip than it is to open it in reverse. But since I need something for my left hand, I figured I would pick one of these up. It makes a nice little replacement. And I can always scrap it for parts, or just see what's inside it. I eventually want to see how similar these knives are to one another in the guts. Anyway, so a more difficult knife, alright? This one is going to have the curve of the top here is going to be straighter and then flick down towards the end there. So I'm going from here forward and down, right there. Or one more time, there. It's also worth practicing this like 30 or 40 times because, one, you want to be able to make sure that your knife can take the abuse. This is a pretty sturdy knife, and it's a pretty sturdy knife. And you want to be able to practice this on both sides because, you remember, I have this trick. See? Forward and down, but not quite there. There we go. Larger curve, lots of flick. Okay. It should be usable on a majority of knives. If there's a magnet that catches, or if the groove of the bearing right to the inside right there is particularly deep, it's not really going to let you, but you're always going to be able to find some knife that will. So that's the BackFlick.